And it's the biggest drawback of the ability. Once you become a Titan Shifter, you only have 13 years left on your life due to the curse of your mirror.
13, I'm tripping. Imagine, bro, like 13, man. Like, yo, gang, 13. What can you do with 13 years left of your life, man? We are watching the Most Useless Superpowers in Real Life 4 by Olamasama. Now, the type of guy I am, I can make any useless superpower useful, because that's just how I am, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to me, I can do anything, like, perfect, you know what I'm saying? That's just me, though. If you could please subscribe to the YouTube, we are so close to 100K subscribers. We is literally right there, man, you know what I'm saying? Just a few subscriptions, and we is basically right there, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Follow and watch me live on Twitch. I'm live there every day, man. You gonna see all types of content over there, too. Hold on. Let me spit, 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 hold on, let me spit, hold on, let me spit.
Y'all know what this is by now. We're back to talk about some more useless powers. There's still far too many that need to be covered. So enough chit chat, let's get into some of these abilities. For our first order of business, I wanted to spin back on some of the things I said in the second installment of the series. Being wrong is a part of life, and it can be good to admit when you were wrong on something. And I definitely gotta correct and revise one of the takes I made in that video about Gojo's abilities. In that video, I said that besides Infinity, which is essentially the barrier around Gojo, all of their abilities from the Limitless Curse technique were practically useless for IRL scenarios. As we see in JJK, a lot of Gojo's techniques are typically used in a combat sense. However, that doesn't mean that the very nature of some of these techniques are completely doo-doo water for ordinary situations. When I saw Gojo destroy everything in the surrounding area with the max output blue, I thought he could only use blue at max output to destroy things. However, you can use lower outputs of blue and use it as a pseudo telekinesis by manipulating the attraction field. So blue in itself is pretty decent at lower outputs, and you'd probably never need it at max output unless you're interested in creating
but the thing is, Gojo's curse technique never useless, man. Like, imagine you want to just rob a bank, you know what I'm saying? Like, just want to make some money, just a few quick bucks, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing wrong with robbing a bank, because who can stop you, man? like, let's be honest, bro. You was basically the world's leader, you know what I'm saying? They can't stop you. They will never be able to stop you. So in my sense, I don't see it as useless at all, bro.
So strong that everything in the vicinity.
They just gotta see a little bit of your power and just make sure that
you gravitational wrecking ball. Also, a lot of y'all were telling me that he uses blue to teleport, which I genuinely did not know. I kind of just ignored that part of his abilities and thought he just teleported through other means of space manipulation. But hey, man, y'all already know how I feel about teleportation. It's always useful as long as we ignore the scientific implications. But y'all Gojo fans are still gonna have to hear me say that purple and unlimited void are still straight garbage in real life, unless you expect to be in the army. Red is, for lack of a better word, mid. I really am not sure when you'll need the repulsion of red, because I haven't seen many other applications in the series besides pure offense. You can't even say that you needed to push an object, because you can just use blue for that. Anyways, on to the new powers. The first one up to bat is Titan shifting from Attack on Titan. Shifters can transform into giant humanoids, so naturally they'd be pretty strong. Titan shifters were pretty consistently portrayed to be formidable opponents throughout the series, and they're the strongest characters if we don't include the Ackerman. There's quite
but like, what's the point of it, man? You know what I'm saying? You turn into that, now you look like a hideous being, my nigga. You look like you basically Sasquatch, gang. Let's be honest, you was basically Sasquatch itself, just out here running, just sloppy, man. You know what I'm saying? Just sloppy, you know. It's like, you get big, bro. Who is you trying to fight, my nigga? Thanos? Yo, gang, like, yo, once again, bro.
Quite a few different Titan shifters in the series.
But you could also rob a bank.
Typically has some type of animal characteristics. Zeke's Titan looked like a monkey and was able to throw rocks and practically anything else like cannonballs. There's the Armor Titan who has armor, kinda obvious. We got the Warhammer Titan who can make constructs out of hardened Titan skin. The Jaw Titan has incredible jaw and claw strength. The female Titan is extremely versatile. The Colossal Titan is massive. The Cart Titan has great mobility despite looking like a crocodile and a human fusion in all the wrong ways. Then for some reason, the Attack Titan can look through the memories of future holders of the Attack Titan. I don't know how useful that specific ability would be in real life due to the logistics of actually passing on the Titan, but that's a problem for later. You also got a pretty decent regeneration factor when you're in human form, and that's all of the positives I really got.
Plus, you got 4 years left to live. That's what I heard, bro, which is disgusting, man. You know what I'm saying? Who would want that? Like, who would want that, man? You know what I'm saying? You get that, now you got 4 years left. What you gonna do with them 4 years?
For this power, because it's very clear that if you had this ability in real life, you'd quickly realize how worthless it is. First off, there will be zero sense of privacy when turning into a Titan, so no little secrets or anything. Everyone will know. You will be a human about the size of a building, so it's kind of hard to miss. And that's not to mention the fact that there's a giant explosion and lightning anytime you transform. If you see a lightning explosion in the middle of a sunny day, you're gonna know something odd is happening. Also, something that needs to be noted is that even though the Titans are strong, they are not really like that for real. It's not like they have zero weaknesses. The series has already demonstrated that there was anti-Titan technology that was very effective against the armored Titan.
They got these little ass humans killing them, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just a little sword and all of that, but. My nigga Levy like 4'11", my brother. Why is he dicking y'all niggas down like that, man? It's so useless, bro. They basically human but bigger, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Once again, Sasquatch would probably dig their ass down.
Our modern society is way more advanced than it is in Attack on Titan. If the country wanted to, they could neutralize you without breaking too much of a sweat. If you decide to start destroying stuff, you may cause some damage, but you're not going super crazy. Some of the Titan shifters are also just underwhelming in general. Like the Armor Titan is cool and will probably be on the more useful side of the 9 Titans. But something like the Colossal Titan is kind of you just sitting there with a lot of hot steam. The Colossal Titan is really only good for the explosion as long as you're okay being a living nuclear warhead. It's not even like you're that big with the Colossal Titan, as you're still significantly shorter than a skyscraper. Something else to keep in mind is that for a Titan to be really effective, some type of combat training might be in order. As we've seen by now, the ability isn't even that great on its own. But there's one thing I haven't even mentioned yet when becoming a Titan shifter, and it's the biggest drawback of the ability. Once you become a Titan shifter, you only have 13 years left on your life due to the curse of Ymir. So you cut down your lifespan significantly when you obtain one of the 9.
Imagine, bro, like 13, man. Like, yo, gang, 13. What can you do with 13 years left of your life, man? You got that on your mind for the rest of your time as being a Titan. You got 13 years left to live, my nigga. Yo, gang, that's bad. That's disgusting, man. That's horrendous.
Titans. If you want to pass it on, you gotta have another pure Titan eat you. But I don't know how that'll even work without other Titans existing in our world. So you'll just die in your 20s or 30s, which makes the ability even more worthless than it already is. If anything, it's more of a negative. In terms of real life uses, this power could probably help someone with construction or something, but we already have machines for that, so you'd probably not be too helpful. You'd also risk blowing up the construction site if you transform near it, and your body temperature would probably be too hot to work with. Having a power like this is similar to the Susanoo problem, where it's difficult to maneuver in any densely populated area. I'm not even gonna talk about the Founding Titan because of the royal blood requirements. You are basically asking for a death sentence if you want to become a Titan shifter. Bruh, I don't even know if a lot of the shifters in this series really liked being one. Long story short, it would not translate very well to real life. Next up is Mahoraga's adaptation. And I know what the title says, but I can't say that this ability is completely useless. Throughout the series, I like to talk about abilities that are
you basically asking for suicide if you bring that nigga Mahoraga here, bruh. Yo, gang, he don't play, bruh. You saw what he did to that nigga.
Absolute trash for real life, but also powers that get their usefulness overstated. I'd say that Mahoraga's ability falls under this category as it depends on how reckless the user of the ability is with it. I think people are gonna believe with an adaptation ability that there's some invincible tank when that's simply not the case. As we all know, Mahoraga can adapt to anything, even physical stats. If you're thinking that's a lie, you might not have caught up with the manga. Basically, if Mahoraga gets hit with an attack, he starts a process to adapt to said attack. There's a set time limit to this, but if you hit him with the same attack again, the process speeds up. Full adaptation means that Mahoraga will be immune to the attack moving forward, and this works for anything, so you'd be able to adapt to diseases or any real health issues, which is very useful to have. But there's a caveat that people always underplay for some reason, and it's the fact that Mahoraga needs time to adapt. That's why the main way to beat him is to hit him with an attack hard enough to one-shot him. Although the anime extended it, the fight against Sukuna in the manga was only a chapter and a half long, because Sukuna realized he just needed to hit him with a strong enough attack before he started adapting. So as long as you're not crazy with what you want to adapt to, you'll have a really good ability. However, I know y'all well enough at this point to know some of you guys are still Arkham Asylum patients who will do the wildest thing you could think of with this power. One of y'all are gonna jump in front of a truck on the highway, then realize you can't adapt to anything if you're already dead. No type of healing factor gonna help you if you just get outright one shot. And that's another thing that needs to be talked about. It's the healing factor of the adaptation. The adaptation will help you heal the injuries, but it can only do so much. You can get shot once and heal it up fine, but if someone immediately dumps an entire clip into you, it's still gonna leave you hurting if you're not fully adapted. This happened during the Mahoraga versus Sukuna fight in the manga, where Mahoraga was crawling on the ground after the domain expansion. Also, the adaptation doesn't always necessarily mean healing every time. It could be something else, such as helping you react.
So are we Mahoraga or are we the nigga that like fucking brought Mahoraga? So, if I'm Mahoraga, man, I'll take everything I said back. Yo, gang, like niggas not gonna touch me. I'm sorry to break it to you, man. They gonna do everything in their power. Look, nigga like me gonna shoot me in my arm, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do experiments on myself, gang. You gotta understand it's levels to this shit.
Attack better. That's what I personally feel that if you want to be reckless and have adaptation, it's gotta be a rapid adaptation ability like Darwin's from X-Men. His mutant power would likely serve a more convenient day-to-day purpose. Next up, we got Shigaraki's decay quirk, which
he was the first person to die after having like the strongest power, ain't it? Like, nigga, he was not supposed to die, but he died. Yo, nah,
I have no idea why anyone would want this power. It's very clear how detrimental his quirk can be when we saw that in his backstory that his quirk accidentally made him murk his entire family. The power is extremely simple and deadly because it just requires you to touch something or someone with your fingers, and it is
nigga, what's the point of even having that power, Like, yo, you basically asking for like mental depression, my nigga, because like everything you touch is going to dust and it's going to die, my nigga. Shit, I can't even touch the water bottle, bro. How am I supposed to drink some water, my nigga?
Disintegrated dust, Infinity War style. As the quirk gets stronger, the decay can begin to spread to other things touching the decaying object, creating a domino effect. So you can accidentally level an entire city with ease if you are not careful. And that's my main problem with the quirk. All it does is destroy things. I can't really find another creative use besides that. I promise you, you will never, ever find yourself needing this quirk. Maybe if you're Joe Goldberg and need to get rid of some evidence, this quirk will be your best friend. But no one watching this video is moving like Joe Goldberg in real life. Maybe you can become a trash collector and just start destroying trash, but even then that could be risky. You probably wouldn't be able to control the spread very well, so one decaying banana peel that slips out of the bag can destroy a couple houses. If we're being real, it's a worse version of Overhaul because he can break down and rebuild matter. Shigaraki's quirk is just a derivative of Overhaul. Why would you not want Overhaul instead of Decay? Decay is a purely villainous ability. Only evil people are using this ability for real, and hint, it's not for good things. And actually, this is a good place to bring this up. In every facet possible, there are a multitude of never-ending battles. Democracy versus communism, lions versus hyenas, Kevin Durant versus hairbrushes. My never-ending battle is with the comments of this series, more specifically, the secret villains in them. It's like y'all are sleeper agents. Y'all hear the prospect of getting powers in real life and start commenting some wild stuff. Like, what on earth is this guy talking about? The pros of world domination? Then this guy just further proves my point.
That's not crazy though, you know what I'm saying? World domination not crazy. It depends on what type of world domination they doing, you know what I'm saying? If I'd be a world dominator, niggas gonna love me. They gonna thank me for being a world dominator. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just what it is.
With the Kainu's fruit, you finna get served papers for property damage and burn them to death? What's wrong with you? Wow, I'm not even coming from a moral standpoint anymore. They are going to find out that you are willing to burn people to death and start using force against you. The government will easily stop you once they realize that your weakness is being submerged in water, which is something they would try to do considering you're generating lava from your body. You're not invincible, bruh. Everyone in the country's government is gonna use everything to catch you. They might even pop out the Men in Black weapons for you. Once they catch you, it's up for you. Game over. You are never seen the light of day again.
They're gonna experiment
that off. Before we move on to the next ability, if you're new and enjoying so far, you might as well subscribe. Anyways, it's time to talk about the strongest man in the world, Whitebeard, and his fruit, the Quake fruit. This fruit is one of the keys to Whitebeard being such a force in the One Piece verse. The fruit allows the user to create massive shockwaves and earthquakes, and it's as strong as it sounds.
I mean, but the thing is, my nigga, you could work for the government type shit. Look, hear me out. You know what I'm saying? You know how people be making theories about the government controlling the weather and shit, you know what I'm saying, controlling shit? You could go to the government and be like, hey, yo, I got this power, right? I can make earthquakes whenever I want, my nigga. The government is going to gas. They're going, oh, this is what we needed, you know what I'm saying? Because the CIA and the government, shit, they be doing everything, my nigga. You don't know what the fuck they be doing. Shit, they probably fucked a few aliens before in their lifetime, my nigga. You don't know. So they going to take you. You getting paid like cool 6 figures a year, man. You know what I'm saying? And you just gotta make like earthquakes 2 times a motherfucking month. Not a month. I would say like 2 times every 6 months. You know what I'm saying? That's fire. You know what I'm saying? That's a good idea. I made that up myself.
Whitebeard was causing tsunamis and entire islands to shake with the usage of his fruit. Sengoku famously said he could destroy the world with the fruit, showing how strong it can really be. Now, it's important to know that Whitebeard is a pirate that doesn't really have to follow the rules. It doesn't matter if he accidentally destroys a couple buildings because he's not paying for it. He got a multi-billion-dollar bounty already, so some extra fines will not hurt him in the slightest. You, however, are a regular citizen of society and will need to follow the laws and regulations of our civilization. So if you got this fruit, it probably would not be the best idea to start throwing out a bunch of quick punches at people pressing you because of all the collateral damage. Earthquakes are not some little pushover natural disaster. These things are serious. And considering the fact that Whitebeard could potentially destroy the planet, you'll probably break the Richter scale with some of your moves. It is simply...
But once again, you know what I'm saying? Do the government really care? They want to destroy it so you can use your money so you can pay the government, my nigga. You's not listening, bro. You don't listen. Now listen, the government wants this. The government knows what they're doing. They want this. They want this.
Overkill. Who the heck are you fighting to justify using this fruit for office? Kryptonians? It's far too life-threatening for normal civilians. The fruit can be seen as a threat to friend and foe. If you've played games with a character with ridiculous AoE, that's most of your attacks. You can't even do the whole taking over the world thing very well. The Quake fruit is a paramecia, not a logia, so you can't be touched. And it's not like the fruit improves your speed or durability. You can just make earthquakes. So the classic lead in your chest is putting you on a t-shirt. There's probably one out of every 100 scenarios where this fruit will be a net positive for you. Next up, we got curse speech, and it's not too complex of a curse technique to explain.
I hate that shit.
Your words aren't enhanced.
Like you can't even say nothing, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like shit. The only thing I probably would say is give me some pussy. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I probably would say. But other than that, bro, what's the fucking point of that power, my nigga? That shit cooked. Oh my lord.
Curse energy. So listeners are compelled to act based on those words. Shut yourself. Yes, theoretically you could even do that. Honestly, this power can be abused like crazy with the right or wrong person. But being completely honest, I always thought this power was kind of mad.
Make your throat dry too,
I know he's a side character, but Inumaki has barely done anything with this ability. Like, you'll have this one cool moment but get sidelined. And he gets sidelined because the recoil for this ability is ridiculous. Yeah, different commands require different skill levels. The higher the skill level of the command, the more backlash on the user.
So that get me pussy shit might get me killed. Okay. But that's a skill level I ain't never even thought of achieving in my lifetime, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? So that shit would be bad. Oh my lord. I'm basically asking for suicide.
Why do you think this man Inumaki's always coughing up blood? He can't even use some of the complex commands very much. Shoot, even some of the commands get shrugged off anyways. Granted, it was a special grade curse or a special grade curse user shrugging it off. Theoretically, you can master it, as we've never seen anyone in the series give someone a crazy command with it. But certainly there's a limit to what you can do with it. I doubt any of us would be as skilled as Sukuna or Gojo with Jujutsu to actually make the most of it. And oh yeah, when I said your words are enhanced with cursed energy, I truly meant all of your words. So no more of those things you like to call sentences. You will be forced to speak in food for the rest of your life or get a device that gives you a voice. It's because with normal words, you can risk inadvertently cursing people with cursed speech. If you try to have a normal conversation, you might get the other person murked in the process because of the lack of control. So having this power in real life means I cough up blood because I either overuse the ability or I do something I'm too weak to do. On top of that, I can only speak in food ingredients or whatever to avoid cursing people. What? Just so I control a couple times? I will pass on that any day of the week. I'd rather see someone combust into flames. Wait, no, I didn't mean that.
Oh wow, see?
Last up is yet another JJK ability, Sukuna's Shrine Technique. In my opinion, it's pretty self-explanatory why you would never need something like this in real life. There are three main parts of this ability: Cleave, Dismantle, and the Fire Arrow. Dismantle is the default slash that fires out an invisible slash. You cut up things. It's pretty simple. Cleave is a more unique slash in the fact that it can be adjusted to the durability levels of the enemy to just finish them off in one hit.
Yeah, I remember that clip. Why Sukuna was trolling his ass like that, bro? That nigga ain't shit for that, man.
It's also used while physically touching the opponent. The Fire Arrow is basically a mini nuke that can destroy city blocks and is made of fire. Again, pretty obvious. These abilities sound pretty broken when reading them on paper until you realize that these are sort of Sukuna techniques, if that makes sense. These abilities only work for Sukuna since he's really good at Jujutsu sorcery, but in the hands of anyone else, they're not as effective. Like, if you gave Nobara Cleave and Dismantle, she's not going to be the strongest in the verse. This same type of logic would likely apply in real life unless you're a prodigy of some sort. So you, my friend, are not going to
guess what I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, my nigga, I'm more than a prodigy. You know what I'm saying? I'm a genius that was meant to be
gonna be that good with using this technique. The slashes might be like paper cuts or will be uncontrollable. I can't even fathom the amount of training you'd need to make this power really good. Also, the technique suffers the same problem a lot of fictional powers have, and it's the fact that the power is mainly combat focused. At the basic level, there really aren't many applications of Cleave and Dismantle besides cutting stuff. If you're a chef, that's cool, but how many of us are really culinary experts? Even if we give you the benefit
even if you a chef, gang, you know what I'm saying, my nigga, you might just cut up your co-worker on accident, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? That nigga gonna be cut up in 1,500 pieces, my nigga, just because you was trying to cut a fucking tomato, my nigga.
Having a domain expansion, what will you ever use it for? The only people who want this power are either the Sukuna fans or the super agents, super villains I referred to earlier. So that's another set of powers that I think are kind of to just straight up bad in real life. If y'all want another part of the series, just tell me in the comments, because I don't want to.
But I would be able to adapt it. With
that being said, have a great day and peace out.
Make sure y'all subscribe. Please subscribe. It will be very greatly appreciated if you please subscribe. You know what I'm saying? And please watch my video. Please, that would be greatly appreciated. Please follow the